Hey friends, today I'm gonna actually answer just a few questions. I'm doing some updates before I answer some questions. Um, I'm doing, I'm selling a course, right? Excuse me a minute while I straighten the thing up. I'm selling a course which I had last year, and it was a jingles and podcast course. However, it's not me doing the course now; somebody else doing the course. But I'm selling the package, so you'll see in a YT post, and you'll see a few things happen because I know that people just want um, the education of it, which is fantastic. We've got on our books now for the course. We've got I think is it 300 people or 380 people, which is quite a lot really. For the course, so they are getting the course first, and they're getting it for free. Now, you're thinking an ad agency giving a course for free? Well, they're on. It's a trial period, but like I said, I'm not teaching the course, and the only thing I am teaching is literally what I'm going to talk about in the next video, not in this video, which is basically how to put jingles together, audio advertising, and all the rest of it. So I'm going to answer some questions in a minute. But before I do, I'm just going to say the price is going up on things because obviously the cost of not just the cost of living, but also our company is growing. Um, we've gone from a little backstreet office, which we had, and also um, and you know uh, we've managed to grow our company, since Neil died, and um, my sister's boyfriend, Jamie Vondy, took us straight from a little backstreet office to a massive place, um, which Radiant Advertisement is now working from. Radiant Advertisement is actually now got 3 or 4 departments, and I'm going to make this announcement now by saying that I'm living and breathing the company, not living and breathing the office. So I want to talk about that in different videos, of course, but obviously I want this one to be sort of laid back, obviously, and kind of me kind of talking to you all and all the rest of it. And I'm doing a video call at the end of this week to kind of basically update people, and that will also be on this channel to update departments. And, I never thought that any of my companies, we tried it with the builders company, which the builders company will have departments soon. But I never thought I'd be sat here saying that one of my companies would have 3 or 4 departments. I never pictured it. I'd just sort of be in a little office with 2 or 3 people, and we'd just meander on, wait for adverts. We've now got 12 freelancers, 12 brand new freelancers. So welcome aboard 12 new freelancers. One of them is the famous Daniel Adler, who is now working for us. He's retired as an artist, but he's come to work for us, and we've just said to him, look, you don't have to come to the office, you don't have to come in. We've made it very, very stress-free, and we're just working around each other. He's a great guy, and he loves my projects, and I love his projects. So that's how it's happened. So he will never have to come near an office, ever. He'll do the work as and when, and he loves to see the work, and he's really excited. Every project he does for us, he did the garage project for Beamsworld 77, but every project that he puts his heart into, he absolutely loves, which is great, because that means we can love the ads even more. We were laughing about this energy drinks advert. We were really laughing over it, and that just felt, this project's going to real hit off. It's going to get off the ground, because it's a project I was kind of worried about, and we can still keep that subliminal X-rated feel, but also have it kind of, keep it PG and everything. So I've said, a female model in a speedboat, that'll do it. Fjord, it's got speed, it's got energy, it's going to sell to a young audience, but also for government purposes, even though it's gone on posters, you've got to be careful. We are not allowed to advertise energy drinks on public transport. We're not allowed to advertise energy drinks. This is like the standards of advertising. We're not allowed to advertise. The only place you can advertise an energy drink is at a festival or in a bar. So in the bars, in the places where you can put it, at events where you can put energy drinks, but we're not allowed. And in our policy, where there's certain adverts we're not allowed to put near public transport. So if it does go near to public transport, I'll be questioning why is it put there. Because some people will buy the ad and they'll pop it on the back of a bus, and which, it's one of those things. Because we don't put the ad, we're getting a physical. This will be a physical ad that we get. So we'll get a physical ad, and then we've got to copy this physical ad. We've got to photocopy it. It's going on a canvas, so we'll be able to hopefully exhibition the ad at the end of the end of the year. Because if we get so many good adverts, then we will exhibition them, hopefully. We'll have to sell the original ad. Because how many copies can we sell of it and then put the original? Along with the Sound City ad, because I am gonna build a collection of ads that we've got, physical ads. I'd like to have them up in the office, and and if they're really good, we will put them in a gallery somewhere. Put them in a gallery. Now, and you're thinking, adverts in an art gallery, we've been thinking about it for ages, but to be honest, it's the kind of, it's vaporwave art, really, isn't it? It's I like to, pop art, really. And advertisements they fall into that category of pop art, because there's some great artistic adverts out there which has great original artwork. And unfortunately, we will have to use AI art for some of our ads, but not all. And it's the alarming rate, because we're now an agency where things are coming out thick and fast, And with social media on the rise, which is now becoming, you've got platforms like Facebook and Instagram becoming the biggest platforms for advertising, you then see that your big adverts start to become a work of art. The Sound City ad, which we've got the artwork for, the artwork will go in the office next time I go up, because that was the Sound City ad. And Daniel Adler is a fantastic guy. He's a big artist. He had an actual career. He's a professional artist, and now he's working for Radiant Advertisement. And you never think, you never know. This is one of the things. You never think that you're going to have a rock star artist working for you. And you know what I mean? Like a rock star artist, and it's the same with the customers. We've got a few customers who we're working for, and we've got a new record label that we're advertising. And the advertisements that we're getting this year are huge, are really big adverts. We've got the really, really big adverts that are absolutely hitting, they're hitting real highs. And we're getting so many customers, and I absolutely love all the work I do for Radiant Advertisements. And it's fantastic work. And so, it's moving on. The prices are moving on. Hopefully, Radiant Advertisement will be the biggest advertisement company that I've ever owned. The building company, we've decided to make another big, well, we don't know if it's a mistake or not. We're planning to buy 2 hotels, a nightclub, and, well, it's a bar. We're hoping to do it. It was a nightclub. We're hoping to do it as a bar and a restaurant. So we're buying all of these. And the restaurant and the bar will Radiant Advertisement will have them too, but the building company will have the hotel, and we're getting our names on properties, and we wanted the Casino Hotel in Liverpool, but unfortunately it's gone, which is sad. We wanted it. It was the Casino Hotel in Speke. We really, really wanted it, but something will pop up. It'll come up soon, and we've got a list of things that it's coming our way, and it's but the company is growing very fast, and we never thought, last year, I've been off for 2 months this year, and I've only done one project, which was Sound City, which did have a lot of work put into it. It may not have felt that way, it may not have seemed that way, but Sound City is an incredible ad. And the ads are getting better, and I love all the ads that we work on. Some are better than others. And we're advertising some YouTubers and podcasters. We'll advertise anybody and anything into what we feel. So now, and the price and the price of the ads, the price of the advertising is going up, and obviously the technology is going faster. so we can work wherever and wherever, whenever and wherever. But we are based in Liverpool, the Liverpool city centre. And I never ever thought that I would, every time I go into Liverpool, I see a job. Even though I've not seen customers, I've not had calls coming in. When I go into Liverpool, that's literally like going to work for me. Me and my mate Will were just went to the wrestling over the weekend, and I was stood in Concert Square, and that was literally like a taxi driver sat at the rank driving around looking for passengers. You can guess what I was doing. I was looking around looking at, when's my next customer? Is my next customer going to be in Concert Square? Is my next customer going to be in Fusion Nightclub? And I was thinking that way because that's what I hope for, Unfortunately, I have got customers here in Southport where I live. Because even though we're not a backstreet company anymore, we haven't thrown our customers, we haven't thrown our customers off the ship. If you want to put it that way. We haven't said, right, customers, we're going from here to there. Goodbye, so long, customers. Nice knowing you. No, we've still got the guys at Victoria Park. They're still our customers. We've still got the people at Cherish, Reach and Connect. We don't really work with them so much, but we've still got them. They just don't appear so much. But we've got 2 events that are going to be ours, and we're very welcome to have people on board, people who know us. If you know who we are and you bump into us and say, oh, are you the Radiant Advertisement guys? Yep, we'll advertise you, no problem. We'll advertise shows. We've got 2 shows in the summer. Believe it or not, we've got 2 shows at the end of July, beginning of August, all at Victoria Park. And they're not nothing to do with Alan Adams, but obviously people he knows or whatever, or people that, if it's at Victoria Park, go see that Radiant Advertisement, go and knock on their door, because, we work a very, very, we work a very sort of family orientated way. Even though we're going lesser family orientated, we're going lesser mum and pop orientated, there is going to be a Facebook group called the Radiant Advertisement Family, and that is our community. And even if you've been a customer and you're not a customer anymore, we want people to kind of go in there and talk about what you've liked and what you've disliked, and so on and so forth. But I like that family-friendly atmosphere. I like the friendly atmosphere. I like to say that we're all friends at the company. We all know each other and we all love each other's work. And, Jamie, the guy that got me the office, we're 2 different entities, even though we share a desk. We do different things. He does his thing and I do mine. But sometimes there'll be a job that comes across, and so that's how we got the Sound City job. And, we get other jobs, but we don't really. And obviously through working, we've got, like I said, we've got jobs for next year. We've got a pile of things to do for next year already. And I should be saying to myself, I should enjoy these 3 months off. I should have enjoyed those 3 months off and just had that one project and enjoyed that, because I know this month, next month, and the month after are going to be really busy for me, because I'm advertising Halloween, all Halloween ads again. I'm doing a food and drink festival advertisement. I'm opening a bar. Well, I'm not opening a bar personally, but we're advertising it. We've been asked to open it, so there's all of that really. We've been asked to open a bar. We've been asked to do this, that, and the other, really. And it's literally work that's coming out of our ears. And I have said, when the work comes, it'll come. And I know, July and August are really busy times for us, because when we get in that office, we've got work for July and August and September, and then you've got October, and everything goes out. And people say to us, why do your advertisements go very quickly now? Well, it's because we know when it is. We see when the event is, we look at when the event is. So, we've literally got before the event's happening. And I didn't know the Sound City ad. I didn't know that was going to get used. They actually used the ad. It was a spec ad. It was a fictional ad, but they actually used it. But we share the same building as them, so everybody there, it's like, well, that's their event. We didn't say how dare you use our ad. They asked for the ad, so I'm glad they used it. I'm glad they used it. I'm glad they liked it, and I'm glad they used it. Apparently, it was cleaned up a bit. I didn't see the cleaned up version. But apparently, one or two people, they cleaned it up a little bit from what I heard, but I didn't see that version. They obviously made a better background or whatever. I'm not sure what they did, but I was happy that they used it. Very happy, But we sell all our ads. We sell them, They've gone up. The adverts are no longer, the physical ads are no longer £20. Well, they are to certain people, but we're not going to mention them. That's what you call mates rates, isn't it? £20. But the ads have actually gone up from £20, £30 to £50, £60. Ouch! Ouch! Well, the canvases themselves cost £10, £10, £20. Then you've got the paints. Then you've got the time. So if you're buying an ad, you're looking to £60 an ad. And if we do sell that ad, we need obviously a little bit to pay for the artist, but at the moment, he hasn't asked for anything. But if he does ask for something, we gotta have something there. Excuse me. Which is why, and here's the thing, our audio advertisements actually cheaper than, physical advertisement or video advertisement. You're going to say, well, everyone can use video now. Well, what about professional video? What about camera people? What about the rest of it? We have only got one photographer at the moment, which is the wonderful Andy Johnson. But apart from that, we haven't got anybody, and we don't, which, so I know the question that everyone's going to ask: do we work for Jamie? I would say yes and no. I'd say, we are the advertisement agency. Like I say, we're the in-house advertisement agency, so we sell the best. I wouldn't say the best quality ads, more the fastest ads. Because people want fast advertisement now, and it's Can we get it out? But we've had the Fjord Energy Drinks company since last year. So it's great when a company comes to you and you've got them since the year before. It's great when you know what's coming for the next year, you know? And I can't say what we've got for next year. I really can't say. I want to say what we've got for next year, but I really, really can't, because we would lose a customer, and we've got a real customer for next year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But I'm holding on. I'm holding on till next year. You'll see the ad anyway, and you'll go, goodness grief, how did you get that job? How did you land that deal? And it was just talking with them, really. It was just, sitting down, having a basic meal. You wouldn't think, and here's the thing, you wouldn't think that sitting down, having a meal, you wouldn't think sitting down, having a meal, would literally do anything. You wouldn't think sitting down, having a meal. We just had a simple Chinese meal. Nothing more. It wasn't, that's literally how you do it. But people are more relaxed, when you have a meal, or a drink or whatever. People sort of open up, and it's like, and here's the thing, when we bring customers in, we like to make them feel comfortable. We've got a couch there, which we didn't used to have, or we did have a couch, but it wasn't in the office. But we sit people down on a couch, we make them comfortable. And we try and get as much tea and coffee in as we can. But we, and whatever, usually biscuits or cake. If it's a woman, chocolates, a little champagne. You got to sweeten the customer up, right? Because if you don't, you want the person to feel comfortable, because you've got to have that trust. You've got to earn that, because you're going to be working with them. And like Daniel, Daniel Adler is a great guy. And, immediately who you're going to work with. And it goes for anything, my other YouTube channel, I've got work for my other YouTube channel, again, for the same thing. There was people at that same meal. We sat down. Same meal. We ate from the same table. Now, you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that at all. But I want to use that example because, people say, oh, a meal, it's not, who wants to sit down to a meal these days? Who wants to sit at a dinner table these days? Well, it doesn't necessarily be that, but you have to kind of think, right, okay, a drink, or, something simple like going to the park, or something simple. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be difficult, Go in the pub. You wouldn't think going to your local pub, going to your local boozer and having a pint or two, and people say, oh, don't square a deal in a cloud of drink. But you don't have to square a deal in a cloud of drink, but you can literally, once people are comfortable, they will, and it has been proven, that people will loosen up. People will say something. They'll square deals. They'll sign over things. Well, they won't necessarily sign a piece of paper, but they'll, they might do something, or they might. The amount of projects I have got people to do over a pint. You know, the amount of projects that I've got people to work on just through a drink, just having a drink, sitting down with someone and having a drink with them. You wouldn't believe how simple it is, because they're not in this brightly lit environment, you know, and we never take our customers straight to a desk anymore. I say to Rosemary, sit the customer down on the comfortable couches over there, please. I say, do not bring them over here until it's time to make a payment. You know, unless they want to pay there, of course, because we don't want to make the customer feel intimidated. But once they come to the desk or whatever, you know, and we feel that the office, people have seen behind the closed doors of what we do. They've seen what, you know, but we're more than that. We now do video calls, which we never used to do. We do more video calls now and WhatsApp messages. We do thousands of WhatsApp messages over a week. And I'm messaging everybody saying, hey, how's everyone going? It'd be a simple message. It'd be a simple thing. We tend to feel that social media, is not getting people talking as much. You won't get an instant message, doesn't cut it anymore, because with an instant messages are when you want to get the job done. When you send an instant message, it's right, I want that done now. And or you're sending an instant message to show them, right, this is what we're showing you. Are you happy with it? You need to tell us right at that moment. Email's a bit slow when you want to get something done. Emails for looking at it later. This needs to be looked at later. Instant messaging is when you want to get the job done. And people get overcrowded with all that now. People get overcrowded with it. But the thing is, when you're in work and you get overcrowded with, I look at my emails, my work email, I look at it every week now, and I'll say, oh, no, I'm happy with this. No, I'm not happy with that. I spend most of the time emailing, receipts over or whatever it may be. So before I get to the questions, the agency model now is not what the agency model used to be. Okay? So now I'll get to the questions. And question number one is, do you think that, what will save your empire? Now, what will save my 2 or 3 businesses I have? I think it's knowing that they're there. Knowing that I have 3 companies. I haven't got my hand properly on the 3rd one yet, but I will do. And I won't need to worry about them. This time next year, I won't need to worry about them. Why? Because each one will be bigger, each one will be better, and I'll have more people working for each one. So I can just say, this is the company that I want to work for, and this is the company that I want to work on. This is the project that I want to work on. you know? And the building company there's a lot of work happening over there. Question 2 comes from Brad, and he asks, what's the political landscape with your company? Well, the thing with each company is it depends, like financial. You have to look at pricing for each company. Everything's gone up. What used to be a couple of pounds is now £5 or £6. The pound is the new penny. That's, a political statement. But something else that's political is you've got overseas, you've got all your euros. People are trying to spend all that. Then there's America. And you look at America and you're saying, well, China, I'll take the mobile phone company, for instance, right? When the TikTok thing happened and the Huawei phones weren't selling, I was panicking. I was thinking, hold on a minute. I don't need to panic because I can still sell these phones. It's my decision where to sell them or where not to sell them. And I used the TikTok ban for saying, hey, I'm going to sell these phones where they've got TikTok on or not. That's the person's decision whether they want to buy a phone that's got TikTok on or not, because China is not controlling the consumer, and that's a political thing. When people say, oh, well, China's controlling, but the Huawei phone, we're still selling the Huawei phone. We're selling it as a TikTok phone. We're selling it as a phone that's already got TikTok built into it. So people are going to buy it. Instantly, that's money made there. Because it's banned, oh, you must not sell this item. Now, if we go into the EU, I won't be allowed to sell it because the EU... Excuse me a minute, folks, while I change the lighting. Yeah, the EU, I won't be allowed to sell it if we go back into the EU again. It's Starmer. Well, Starmer's already screwed us all up. And then there's Rachel Reeves. I really want to make another political video because I know people like their politics rubbish. I personally am not, but I seem to make it since politics dominates our lives and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. That you've got to upset the woke. And so also selling the Huawei phone, I also sold the Huawei phone on a business package because I said, look, businesses can get this phone cheap, right? TikTok or no TikTok. People can get this phone and they can buy it. And guess what? We couldn't get rid of the damn things. People wouldn't. And the people that wanted the phone were, well, let's say they were down in London. and they were buying it through Facebook deals. But, and so people want the phone. Why? Because it's got TikTok built in. So I wasn't going to stop selling a bloody phone just because someone in a white coat was saying you cannot sell this product. And by the way, we sold it. And we're still selling it. And it's the biggest phone. But, they wanted to ban the Huawei phone because it's more popular than Apple's iPhone at the minute. But people don't know where the iPhone really comes, where the finish of the iPhone, where that shiny finish comes from. Consumers don't even look properly into what they're getting. But anyway, we won't discuss that. But it's like anything. It's, you look at the market. And the market is, it's all, and it's all about domination. Ooh dear, that's a dirty word, isn't it? Why? Because domination, it's who is taking over who's ruling over who. And people want to be, everybody wants to be the top dog. Everybody. You're saying, oh, you don't want to be the top dog, right? Well, you look at all those people out in the wild. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, they're the ones that, you've got the people kind of thinking, oh, well, we know it all. Clearly they don't, obviously. And they're all going to get fattened by a loan, which is sad. But here's the thing, right? We're all not satisfied with the amount of with the amount we all get. Sorry about all this baggage I've got. Stuff that does need sorting in the background. I'm very sorry about that. But yeah. And here's the thing. It worries me about going into the EU. But Starmer has got himself stuck in a sticky situation. And it's, people say he's carrying over from where the Tories left off. But that's not strictly true. Because even though the Tories, as woke as they were, and as left as they were going, the Conservatives just look like pushovers towards the end. That's my opinion. And yeah, and that's as far as I'm going with that one. Sorry. But, I think it's all about, someone dominating the market. The amount of money that someone is going to make. It's like the Mackays with the castle. And the hospitality industry just went tits up. And that's when the Mackays decided to call it quits. And the castle wasn't going to make anything else anyway. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I don't want to talk about that because it makes me very angry. But anyway, just a little bit of advice. Don't buy a castle. You know, don't buy a castle. You will end in tears. It'll all end in tears, believe me. Ross asks, what's your thoughts on Trump? Yeah, well, you know, I kind of. Here's the thing, right? I like Trump when it comes to business, you know, when it comes to business decisions, because he's very like Alan Sugar. What I don't like about Trump is when he's throwing his toys out the pram, because that's the problem over there. The American business people, which is why we've never worked with them, sadly, is they like to throw their toys out the pram. Now, there's some good businessmen over there who we really want to work with, but it's the thing with. I mean, we've worked with the gaming industry is fantastic over there. The video game industry is fantastic because you know they the people know their stuff and they know how it's going to sell. But anything else, we needn't say anything more on it. You know, and it's like artificial intelligence. They knew exactly how much they were going to make on that. That's where Elon Musk has made his fortune. But anyway, you know, and a lot of people, they're looking for the next big thing. They really are.